What is up, guys? It's Trevor with Embers Living. This video is so long overdue, it's not even funny. About a year ago, last August, I unveiled or showed you guys my outdoor kitchen. I told you I was taking it all down, starting over with a fresh outdoor kitchen. Would you say, Chris, that's our #1 requested video, was our new outdoor kitchen?
I feel like they've been asking all year.
They've been asking all year. We've made you guys wait way too long. It's finally here. It's finally done. I'm excited to show you guys this new outdoor kitchen. Now, here's the thing. This is my 4th outdoor kitchen. So I feel like I finally cracked the code this time. I feel like I've learned what I didn't like about my last few outdoor kitchens, what I would do differently, what's more practical, some practical things with the outdoor kitchen. I'm gonna give you all those tips and tricks of the things that I've learned throughout this video. And of course, we're gonna talk equipment. Let's go. Don't forget, if you guys are in the Denver, Colorado area, you can come to our showroom. This isn't our showroom, this is my house, but our showroom's in Westminster, Colorado, where we have a ton of outdoor kitchens on display. We can help you design outdoor kitchens, whatever it is you need. Or if you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe. It helps us out a ton when you guys do that. Follow us on TikTok, follow us on all the things. All right, we got a lot to unpack here. What should we start with, Chris? I'm thinking we should start with the actual islands themselves. Should we do that? Okay, so what I did is last time, if you remember, I had some stonework and some granite, and it was really pretty. The problem was we had our house painted, and my wife wanted something more modern out here, and I didn't think like stacked stone. You can definitely get some modern stacked stone, but I wanted something just a lot more clean looking and more modern. And so that's kind of why we have this look. I'm gonna tell you about it in a second. But the bones of these islands are made by Grillnetics. And we work with Grillnetics and ProFit Outdoor Kitchens. They're great for helping you design an outdoor kitchen because we can literally lay out the cabinetry, and they're basically aluminum cabinets with concrete board. So they're ready to finish. So they're basically ready for your finished material. They're ready for your equipment that you're putting in because it's designed specifically for you, and they're ready for countertops. So that's what we have here is basically aluminum framed bones. And then I went with a vertical grain cedar. So this is a tongue and groove cedar. So this is real wood. And let me know in the comments what you guys think of it. I really agonized over what to do on the finish work, but I went with an actual cedar because a couple of reasons. One, I just think it gives it a nice, really clean, polished look. And the other thing is I wanted to do deck boards, you know, kind of like my actual decking here, but I felt like it would blend too much in with the decking. So I wanted to contrast the decking. So that's a little tip. If you want your outdoor kitchen to pop, make sure it's not too blended in with the outdoor kitchen or your decking or your concrete work or whatever it is you're doing. Make sure it pops a little bit with some contrast. So that's why I went with the real wood. Now the danger here is maintenance. So this is stained with just a clear stain on it. And I'm gonna have to work my hardest to stay on top of it. So gonna have to stain this. I might be aggressive about it and stain it twice a year, but I don't want this fading because I think it's so pretty. So what vertical grain means is there's no knots in it. So this is a knot-free cedar, and I think that gives it that contemporary look, because if you have a ton of knots in it, I think that's what gives it that sort of lodgy or mountainy feel, and I wanted to stay away from that. So the vertical grain, I think, gives it that nice contemporary look. What do you think of it, Chris? You like it?
Yeah, it looks good.
It's the first time Chris has seen it in person, so. But yeah, I think it turned out really pretty. And then for countertops, you can see that with the house and everything, we wanted like a lot of black tones. So I went with a black granite that sort of has like these nice, I don't know what you call them, white accents in them. Now, here's a tip when picking granite for an outdoor kitchen is you don't want something with a ton of sheen to it. If it has too much sheen, it's gonna get super hot and it can be prone to yellowing. So this isn't a full leather. A full leather granite is when it's fully dull. This is like a nice in between. So it's like over 80 degrees right now. So it's definitely warm, but it's not like scalding hot, whereas like a really shiny granite would get scalding hot. So I really am happy with the granite countertops themselves. So that's sort of the design thought process to the aesthetics of the actual outdoor kitchen. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section and let me know how I did. All right, now let's talk spacing. So I've talked about this in my other videos, but essentially your space is what your space is. You can't really change what space you have to work with. You know, if you got 5 feet, if you have an L shape, if you have a U shape, whatever it is, so you basically have to design around your space. I have a kind of a narrow space here, so that's why we have one on the left and right. But I really wanted, what I learned from my previous outdoor kitchens, is I did not have enough countertop space. I would jam pack my kitchen with too much equipment and not really think about how much counter space I needed. So that's a little tip for you. Make sure you have enough countertop space, because before, if you have no place to set a platter by your barbecue or whatever. So, you know, I had the old kegerator here, got rid of the kegerator, and I just made the solid countertops. I wanted a ton of prep space. If I'm serving brisket, whether you're serving out here, whether you're gonna have, you know, appetizers out here, or if you're doing all your prep work, maybe you're doing some trimming, getting chicken thighs ready, you know, seasoning your veggies, whatever it is, make sure you have enough countertop space. And between each piece of equipment, I wanted to make sure I had at least 18 to 24 inches between each cooker that I have. I accidentally snuck in a pizza oven. I'm gonna be talking about that in a second. But originally, this was going to be my countertop space. I'm still trying to break the habit of just jamming too much equipment in here, but we're learning. I have the most countertop space I've had, and that was important to me. So my tip to you would be, don't underestimate the need for countertop space. You're gonna need it more than you think you need. So that's the design. Should we get to the equipment now, Chris?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm getting to the cookers. I know everyone wants to know about what pieces of equipment on here. I'm getting there, but I just want to give you a little more insight here. Let's talk storage drawers. So storage drawers, again, like countertop space, they are very underrated. People don't give storage enough credit, and that's something I learned. I didn't have enough storage out here last time, and I was running back and forth in and out of the house all the time. Oh, I need butcher paper. Oh, I need cooking utensils. I need cleaning supplies. Whatever it is, give yourself enough storage out here, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna buy more fun little accessories for your cookers, and you're gonna want places to put them. So let's start here. So underneath my Primo, which we've debuted already, so this is the Primo off the stand, I did a 30-inch storage drawer. And this was important because so we can have our bigger stuff like our cast iron skillets, and we're gonna be just filling this up with all kinds of more pizza stones, all kinds of more accessories that are gonna go in here. And then all of my storage drawers, if you haven't guessed already, are Heston. So I went with Heston, honestly, mostly because I loved the color options. So again, to sort of keep with the black tones, I did that, and I think the black with the stainless looks really sharp up against the cedar. So that's just another aesthetic design. But, and then I just squeezed in as many double drawers as I could. We have a 36-inch underneath our skillet. And then again, you can see I just popped in storage drawers everywhere I could, because, like, for example, I have a drawer for cleaning supplies, I have a drawer for fire starters, I have a drawer for all my rubs, I have a drawer for all my cooking supplies. So here's a tip when it comes to storage. Utilize any wasted space or any empty space within the island itself and fill it with storage drawers, more than you think you need. Again, that's important because you're gonna fill up those storage drawers very quickly. Then last but not least with storage, I thought it's really, really important to have trash out here. When I didn't have trash last time, what happens is if you have a get together or something, this place just gets filled with beer bottles, soda, paper plates, napkins flying around. So it's really important, I think, to incorporate trash. That way your patio or your deck area stays nice and tidy, and trash is really important to that. What else is really cool with the Heston storage drawers, besides them looking fantastic, is they all have soft close. They're all very high quality. They're not very janky or loose or wobbly. They're very sturdy. And I have a video, you're not gonna be able to see it now, but they all have motion lighting in them. So they all have battery operated LED lighting that is just on a magnet in the storage drawer. We'll show you what that looks like at night. And then again, just a nice, really sweet feature with storage drawers. Speaking of lighting, Again, you're not gonna be able to see this during the day, but we put multicolor LED lighting underneath every lip of the countertop. So this thing just lights up like a Christmas tree. It's awesome. I'm gonna show you some overlays. I shot some videos the other night when it was dark out, and then check this out over here. My patio is a mess right now because we have a new video coming on the rest of my patio, but our little controller is right here so we can mess with the colors. It's all on Wi-Fi too, and then we can control all the lighting and the down lighting on the outdoor kitchen, and there's multicolor LED lighting throughout our brand new gable roof. Just a quick sneak peek, Chris. Don't show them too much because that video is coming soon. So that's the lighting, that's the design. All right, last thing I got to get to is refrigeration, and then we'll move on to cooking equipment. I promise cooking equipment's coming. Refrigeration. Again, I would say most clients sort of forego it. They think they don't need it, and a lot of people's reasoning is, like me, for example, my indoor refrigerator is just right there. And they're like, oh, you know, how lazy am I that I can't walk to the kitchen? That's not the point. It's not the point that it's too far away. The point of having it out here is most of the time in your outdoor refrigerators, you're gonna have beverages. So the fact that usually your indoor refrigerator is already pretty full, it's just nice to have a place, like if you need a 24 pack of Corona, for example, it's just gonna go out here. It's not gonna fill up the fridge inside. You're gonna keep the wife happy. And it's nice, like if you're doing a barbecue run and you're loading up on burgers and brats or everything, it's just nice to have them out here. And again, you can just throw them in the fridge. Then when you're ready, they can pop in here. So what I did is, you remember last time I had a kegerator. Two reasons I got rid of the kegerator. One, I didn't like that it broke up my counter space. And two, nobody loves beer on tap more than me. Nobody. The problem is it just, especially after COVID, like we weren't having 20, 30 people here at a time. So to have 4 or 5 people here, like that's a lot of beer to drink, and then it doesn't get drank, and then it's sitting here, and then I'm getting fat because I just have beer on tap at home. That's no good. So, and you're stuck to one type of beer, maybe 2 if you have 2 pony kegs in there. So I just thought it was simpler to do this. Plus we got all the taps at the showroom. So there's beer on tap there. So anyways, I went with a drawer refrigerator. And again, these are Heston. Now, if you remember last time I had Perlick refrigerators, and I was really, really sad to go away from Perlick because I think they make the best under-counter refrigerators on the planet. But I wanted to do the Heston again to keep the black theme going because they do the colored fronts, and just so everything would kind of match out here. But to my pleasant surprise, guess who makes the Heston refrigerators? That's right, here's a little tip. Heston refrigerators are actually private labeled by Perlick. So for me, that's an absolute win-win because I get the Perlick refrigerator, which is the best fridge on the planet, but I get the pretty Heston front that's gonna match the rest of my outdoor kitchen. It's a match made in heaven. It's awesome. So the advantage to Perlick refrigerators are gonna be all stainless interior, extremely high quality, and extremely reliable. My last set's about 9 years old. They're still running. Here's the advantage to drawer fridges. I like that you don't necessarily have to bend over all the time to get your drinks. So I can do all of my all the canned drinks sort of fit in the top. And then you do have to bend over with the bottom one. And then all your bottled drinks fit in the bottom. So again, just nice and handy to have Coronas around. And then you can see, I did keep, this is the last thing left from my old kitchen, my Yeti bottle opener. That's still there, baby. I just have just a regular refrigerator here, and again, you can use this for drinks, whatever you want. Again, you can put your meat prep stuff in there, whatever you're doing. So that's refrigeration. I was this close to putting in a beverage center. I thought a beverage center would have been really cool out here with a sink, but logistically, I just couldn't make a drain work, couldn't make water work. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that's important to have a beverage center? It would have been cool, but again, I didn't want to sacrifice countertop space. I would have been cramming it in. All right, should we finally get to equipment? Are you guys sick of me talking? Hopefully what I'm doing is I'm hoping that I'm rambling way too much, but usually an outdoor kitchen is a really big investment. So I figure the more information I can give you guys about why I've put in what I've put in and what I've learned, hopefully that helps you. I know it's a long video, but if you're making a 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, $100,000 investment, take the 20 minutes to watch this video. I promise it's gonna help you. All right, so Here's what I went with. You guys have seen me talk about this in other videos. We talked gas versus pellet versus charcoal. Here's my combo, and then I'm gonna get into the brands. I went, as you guys already know if you watched my video, I went with the Primo ceramic charcoal smoker. So I wanted to make sure I kept a smoker out of my outdoor kitchen. I have the Gosney gas and wood pizza oven. I went with the Lynx gas skillet cooktop. And then last but not least, the 42-inch gas Heston grill. You can see I've been putting this thing to work, and this thing's a beast. All right, let's talk about my reasoning here. I'm gonna sort of eliminate some of these because you really don't need 4 of them. I put in 4, but obviously that's not completely necessary, so I'll order them in the order of importance. So let's start with the Primo. I personally put the Primo in because I used to do a ton of cooking on my Kamado Joe, and I started cooking on charcoal all the time, and I absolutely loved it. And so I wanted to make sure I kept a charcoal grill in here. And in my other Primo video, when I unveiled this, I sort of gave some of the reasons why I went with Primo over the Kamado Joe. After using it for a while, I definitely hate to say this, but I miss my Kamado Joe. I like the Kamado Joe just a touch better. I thought their spring assisted hood is better. I do miss having the slow roller. The Primo still works like a champ. I absolutely love it. But I just have to say, now you guys are gonna roast me and eat me alive for this, but would, with all this black going on and all this sear, would a big red giant Big Joe match my kitchen? What do you think, Chris?
No, it would stick out like a sore thumb.
It would stick out like a sore thumb. So eat me alive if you guys want, but the Primo is, for me, it's better just based on aesthetics alone. It looks fantastic out on this outdoor kitchen. That's not really a good reason to go with the barbecue is aesthetics, but in this case, the big red Big Joe just wouldn't have worked. Wouldn't have worked out here, but I do miss it. So that's my 1 or 2. Primo, Big Joe, definitely go with one of those 2. And for me, I love charcoal cooking because it's so much fun. I don't do it a lot. I usually do it low and slow on the weekends. So I would never probably have this as my main cooking device because it definitely is a little bit of work, but I love doing it on the weekends. If we're having a big get together, I love doing briskets, you know, pork butt, those type of things, really low and slow, and have a lot of fun with it. That's why I like charcoal over pellet. To me, pellet was just a touch boring, but there's nothing wrong with pellet. I like the charcoal flavor a little bit better, and I just think it's more fun. But if you really want a smoker and you just love the ease of use with a pellet smoker, go with that. If you guys want to check out a video of the differences between a charcoal and pellet, I'll include links below because we've done a bunch of those videos, and you can sort of help determine the difference on what kind of smoker you want on your outdoor kitchen. All right, Gosney was a last minute audible. Again, this was originally just for countertop space. We picked up the Gosney line, started playing around with it at work, did a bunch of videos, cooked a bunch of pizzas, and I was like, oh my word, I just have to have one of these. It is the coolest thing ever. Here's what's great about Gosney. It does gas or wood. It works great, cooks delicious pizzas. It's great for family nights, and it's not that expensive, and it's really easy to install. It just sits on the countertop. Compared to some of our other pizza ovens, it's quite affordable. And so that's why a last minute audible, I knew I could just pop it on the counter. Let's say for some reason I hated it, just get rid of it. But I don't hate it, I love it. I'm really happy that it's here. Here's the tip. Pizza ovens are great for families. And the reason I say that is we use this almost like for a family night. We all cook our own pizza, we'll do a dessert pizza, and it definitely has a bonding experience. I did some videos with the owner of Gosney, that's what he said, and I definitely find that to be true. A pizza oven really congregates people together more so than any other cooking device, in my opinion, and that's why I think it's super fun to have this out here, but that's the Gosney pizza oven. All right, why did I go with the Lynx skillet top? Well, if you remember before, I had the Evo 30, and honestly, I still think, by the way, we have a new top 5 skillet video coming soon. So a new top 5 skillet video is coming out. Evo is gonna be 1 or 2, and Lynx is gonna be 1 or 2, but I think they're 2 of the best skillets out there. Here's why I went with the Lynx over putting the Evo back in. The Evo is circular designed, and it's a lot of fun. I think, again, the circle design helps people congregate together, kind of like a pizza oven does. The problem is the circle design didn't help me too much because my staircase is right behind here. So I didn't have a good spot for a circular type of skillet top. And honestly, with a rail back here, without being able to walk behind it, it was kind of hard to clean to get back there 360. So Evos, in my opinion, are best in an island. So that's a tip. If you're gonna put in a circular type skillet, do it in an island where you have access all the way around the skillet. There's a couple things that set the Lynx apart compared to the other brands that kind of do this traditional skillet style. A few things. So one, a lot of the skillet tops that are out there, you kind of have to use tools to open it up. What's cool about this is it literally just lifts right up, and it has like a cool little kickstand, almost like a hood of your car, so you can get into here. So Lynx sort of claim to fame is they're all Trident burners. Now, what's cool about infrared heat is it gets hotter than you know what. But the problem with that is sometimes, especially with a skillet, you can get it way too hot and then you're gonna be burning everything. So the infrared burners turn down to 300 degrees. So they have a lot of variability with their heat output, which is really gonna help with performance. But more importantly, check this out. There's probes in here, and these probes read the heat, the temperature in here, and will auto-modulate these burners. So your burners are never gonna get too hot. So here's the tip. Don't get your skillet too hot because it's really hard to cool it back down, and you're gonna be obliterating and burning everything. All your grease, all your butter, you're just gonna annihilate it. So the Lynx probes really help stop that from happening. Now the other problem with skillets is what I learned with the Evo is they make a stinking mess. They are very messy. So you want something that is easy to clean. They're a grease trap system. Not only does it easily just pull out of the front, but it's two separate pieces. And the reason for that, we just had a ton of rain, so these are soaking wet. The reason for that is they can fit in the dishwasher. So these are designed to separate to fit in the dishwasher. So to me, I just think there's a lot of little attention to detail that are really important. I didn't think it would be so hard to keep a skillet top clean. So here's a tip. Get a skillet top that's easy to clean, and those being able to go right in the dishwasher doesn't get any easier than that. Last but not least, without further ado, we got the Heston 42-inch, and I went with one infrared burner and the 3 trellis burners. I've been cooking on it, you can see, and I've just been obliterating everything on here. Just burned everything off, so now I can flip everything over. I'm not really gonna get into a ton of details with the Heston. If you're new to my channel, I have a lot of videos on Heston. I don't think it's any secret that it's my favorite gas grill. I think the cat's out of the bag that it's on my patio. Chris, I think we've probably known that for a while now, right?
Yeah.
It's just the best gas grill. I think, again, with the color options, I think it just looks the best. I love the way it looks on the patio. For a 42-inch grill, it looks bigger than a 42. Don't you think? It just looks really big.
It's massive.
Yeah, it's massive. So it's humongous. I love the spring-assisted hood. I love the rotisserie burner on the roof. I love the way it cooks. I love how durable it is. I love the laser cut grates. It is by far, hands down, no question, the best gas grill that I think is available, period. So it is already my #1 in my luxury gas grills. If you want to watch the video, put the links below and go through that. All right, here's the thing though. I would say very few outdoor kitchens that we sell have 4 pieces of cooking equipment. I would say less than 5%. And honestly, I think if I wasn't in the industry, like if I was paying full price for all this, I don't know if that I would necessarily put all 4 in either. So I'm gonna kind of go through the thought process. If you can't do a skillet, a grill, a pizza oven, and a smoker, what's the thought process here? So my last outdoor kitchen, I didn't have a gas grill. I just had a pellet smoker and a skillet top. I just had 2 pieces of cooking equipment out here. And it was a huge drag because Monday through Friday, if I got home from work late or if we're running errands, my wife's in a hurry, she wouldn't, the pellet grill would take 20 minutes to fire up, even though it's easy to use. And so having a gas grill has been a huge game changer. I think for me, it's the number one most important piece of equipment in an outdoor kitchen is definitely don't skimp on a gas grill. You want a gas grill because it's the most versatile, it's the most easy to use, it's the easiest to start up. And if you can't do a smoker, there's charcoal trays, you know, there's smoker tubes, there's a lot of things you can do to infuse smoke flavor. And so to me, a gas grill is the easiest to use and it's the most versatile. It can really do everything. It can do everything. So gas grill is an essential. This, if I could only have one piece of equipment, cooking equipment, it would be a gas grill, period. No question. The other three get a little tricky though. So to me, the second most piece of equipment, important piece of equipment was to have a standalone smoker. And again, that's just for the weekends when you're having fun. You could do a charcoal smoker or a pellet smoker, and you don't have to get those expensive. I mean, you could do like a basic Weber kettle even, like if you couldn't fit it into your outdoor kitchen. Although a freestanding Weber kettle right next to an outdoor kitchen might be kind of funny looking. But a smoker was really important to me. So this was probably the second most desirable piece of cooking equipment out here because I just love barbecue. I love briskets. I love pork butt. I love ribs. And it's really, really fun. I'm always doing one of those three when I have a big get together. So every time I have a big get together, the smoker is on. I love smoking tri-tip in here. Whatever I'm doing, I use the smoker almost as much as the gas grill. Not as much, but almost as much. Okay, pizza oven. This is probably the least important piece of equipment. It pains me to say that. It's the least important, but it's also not hard to put in because it just sits on the counter. And again, out of these four pieces of equipment, I would say it's the most affordable out here. So it's sort of like a catch-22. It's the least important. I would say I probably use it maybe the least, but also it's really, really fun, especially if you have a family. I think it's really, really fun. So I'm torn on the pizza oven, and because you can get, you know, like a pizza oven accessory for your gas grill, you can get a pizza oven accessory for your smoker, but they just don't work as good. They really don't. And so that being said though, I mean, it's not like I'm doing a pizza party 4 days a week. So it's not nearly as important as a gas grill. So if you're gonna skimp on something, I don't like saying that though, because this thing is so fun, but that's just kind of my experience. Skillet is also a non-essential. It's very, very fun to have. And I love skillet cooking. It's great for breakfast. I mean, breakfast is just a given out here. Doing breakfast on a skillet, it's awesome. But again, especially, it might not even be a budget thing. It might be a space thing. Maybe you don't have the space for a skillet. So that would be an area where I'd skimp, like if it's either you're over budget or it physically doesn't fit. Definitely do a gas grill over a skillet, because I've had people that like, oh, we just love skillet cooking, and they'll buy just a skillet as their main grill. And I mean, they don't call me back upset, but in my brain, I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that. But some people just love it. So again, that's just kind of personally up to you and what you think. But skillet grill is pretty tough to beat. It's really fun. Again, like the Gosney, especially like the Evo, it sort of congregates people together. Very versatile, but again, a non-essential. And you can get skillet accessories for like your smoker or your gas grill. So you can have a way to still use a skillet without a standalone, but having a 30-inch standalone skillet is pretty stinking awesome. So there's sort of the pecking order of the equipment. A lot to digest. I'm very sweaty. It's like 90 degrees out here. That was a lot of information. I need a beer or something. That was information overload for me. But hopefully those tips and tricks helped you. Hopefully this video helps you design your own outdoor kitchen. If you want help designing it, call us. We'll give you our feedback. We'll help you design it. We can lay it all out for you, computer generated, send you drawings, send you designs, and really help you start to finish and get you set up with a complete outdoor kitchen. Again, you can visit our showroom. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you guys next time.